You called last night Hillary Clinton a bigot. Previously, you called her policies bigoted. You directly called her a bigot.
Well, she is a bigot because you look at what's happening to the inner cities. You look at what's happening to African Americans and Hispanics in this country, where she talks all the time. She's talking, look at the vets, where she said the vets are being treated essentially just fine, that it's over-exaggerated what's happening to the vets not so long ago.
But how is she bigoted? Bigoted is,
well, because
having hatred toward a
she's
particular
selling
group.
them down the tubes, because she's not doing anything for those communities. She talks a good game,
so
but she doesn't do anything.
She has hatred
her
or
policies
or
are bigoted.
Her
policies are bigoted because she knows they're not going to work.
But you're saying she is personally bigoted.
Oh, she is. Of course she is.
Her
policies, they're her policies. She comes out with the policies, and others that believe like she does also. But she came out with policies over the years. This is over the years, long time. She's totally bigoted. There's no question about that.
But it does imply
Look at
that she has antipathy, she has hatred toward, in this case, I guess you're talking about African Americans.
I think she has been extremely, extremely bad for African Americans. I think she's been extremely bad for Hispanics. You look at what's happened with her policies and the policies of President Obama and others. Look at the poverty. Look at the rise in poverty. Look at the rise in violence.
But hatred is at the core of that, or dislike of African Americans?
Or maybe she's lazy. I don't know what it is. All I can tell you is I've been hearing the same stuff from her and others for years, and the inner cities today are worse than they ever have been.
Have you always thought she was bigoted, though? I mean, you were supportive.
Honestly, I never thought of it. I never thought, as a business person, I never thought of it. I got along with all politicians.
But I mean,
I got
a
along,
history of working
Anderson,
with African Americans,
as you know,
for African Americans.
Working, but not doing the job. And I'm now bringing it out for the first time. She hasn't done the job.
The overwhelming number of African Americans who support her, what do they?
Well, take a look at what's happened over the last 2 weeks since I've been talking about the subject. Take a look at what's happened. Take a look at your most recent polls. I mean, the ones over the last 3 or 4 days.
You think you can make a difference? You can get a higher number among African Americans?
Oh, I think we're going to do well with the African Americans because they're going to give me a chance. Because frankly, look what she's done. What's to give a chance? I mean, she's been a disaster. The inner cities are worse than they've ever been. You have 40% rates of poverty. You have black youth that can't get jobs. 58% can't get jobs. Education is a disaster. They've been talking about this since I was 5 years old and understood what was going on. They have been talking about this for years. Hillary Clinton talks about it all the time. She has done a horrible job. And then you add all of the scandal and the lies and the deception to the emails. She should be in jail. Hillary Clinton should be in jail. You know it. The FBI director knows it. Everybody else knows it. She should be in jail. What she did with erasing 33,000 emails, she shouldn't be out even talking about inner cities or running for president.
One of the things you've been saying recently in talking to African Americans, addressing them in large rallies, is saying, what have you got to lose? What the hell have you got to lose?
Absolutely, that's the way I look at it.
The way you've been categorizing that, we've been interviewing a lot of African American voters. Some of them are insulted by some of the language you've been using.
I don't think they are. I think if they actually heard me, they wouldn't be insulted at all.
Well, you're
saying
you get shot on your street, you don't have jobs, you don't have schools.
Well, that's the fact. They're shot on their streets. Look at Chicago.
But for the vast majority of African Americans, that's not, I mean, the vast majority do not live in poverty.
40% are living in poverty? Would you say that's a pretty big? Well, I have 40. I have a different stat than you do.
The Kaiser Foundation has 26%.
I have 40%, whether it's 26 or 40. Look, you can look at it anyway, and I know you want to protect her as much as you possibly can.
No, I'm not.
But let me just tell you, Anderson, she has done a horrible job. Her policies don't work. It's a disaster for African Americans, and you see what's happening because many of them who watch my speeches are saying, he's right. They've been doing this for 50, 60, 70 years. And I say, what do you have to lose?
Some of you
and I'll tell you something, not only what do you have to lose, I will fix it.
Some of your African American supporters that we've talked to said they would like to see you go into an African American church or
I'm going to do
talk
that very soon. In fact, I'm going to Detroit and I'll be going to some other places. I've been invited to many. I'll be doing that very soon.
So that's definitely something you're going to do?
Oh, I'm going to do it. Yeah, sure. I look forward to it. In fact, I think I'm doing it over the next 2 weeks. I'm doing a couple of visits.
How much improvement do you think you can make in the African American vote?
I can't tell you. I can only tell you I can fix the inner cities.
Let me talk.
She can't. She doesn't. Not only can't she doesn't have a chance.
I want to start by what Hillary Clinton is now coming at you with. I talked to her last night. She called in my show. She said that you are bringing hate mainstream by embracing the so-called alt-right movement, that you're peddling bigotry, prejudice, and paranoia.
Well, first of all, we're bringing love. You see these rooms, they're packed with people that have been just left behind. I call it the forgotten man and women. They have been left behind, Anderson, by people like her who are third-rate politicians who talk and they don't produce. You look at our inner cities are a disaster, and the African American people are realizing that the Democrats who have run these inner cities for 75 years and 100 years, they've just left them, they've forgotten. They get
Are you
their
embracing the alt-right movement, though?
I don't even know. Nobody
it?
even knows what it is, and she didn't know what it was. This is a term that was just given, that frankly, there's no alt-right or alt-left. All I'm embracing is common sense.
Well, Steve Bannon did say Breitbart is sort of the voice of the alt-right movement.
I don't know what Steve said. All I can tell you, I can only speak for myself. You see the crowds we have. You see the enthusiasm in them. These are great people. These are people that have not been heard for many years, and now they've been heard. First time in many, many decades. In fact, some people say the first time, period. And I think we're going to do very well. You see what's going on with the polls over the last 3 or 4 days. I think we're going to do very well. But
I want to
she is somebody that's all talk, no action. Look at the lies. Look at the deception. Look at what's happened with her emails. Look at the erasing of 33,000 emails. She should be ashamed of herself. She should get back to work for the people. She doesn't do that.
I want to read you one more thing that she just said today in her speech. She said, "This is what I want to make clear today. A man with a long history of racial discrimination who traffics in dark conspiracy theories drawn from the pages of supermarket tabloids and the far reaches of the internet should never run our government or command our military."
No, it's an incorrect statement. First of all, we were sued many, many years ago when I was very young by the government, sued many, many companies. You know that. It wasn't me. It was, they sued many companies.
But your company was sued for not allowing black people to...
And you know what? They found nothing. They found absolutely nothing.
You settled.
They bring up a case. I settled with no awards, no nothing.
But didn't people in your company use the words?
I don't even know. Honestly, what a superintendent does at a building, that I can't tell you. But I can just tell you that they settled the case, and that was the end of it. It was many years ago, and I guess they found we did nothing wrong because we didn't have to do anything. We didn't have any payments to make. We didn't have to pay $20 million in fines. We didn't have any.
You didn't pay any money in order to settle?
We didn't. It's a long time ago, but I don't believe so.